All right, we're live. Welcome to Retro Reload.
All right, everybody.
How you guys doing?
Tyler, you want to go ahead and hit us off with the trivia question before we get started?
Yeah. So I posted a question on our Facebook page for those of you who are paying attention on Tuesday for our Trivia Tuesday thing. It's kind of a new tradition we're trying. And the question I asked is, what is the maximum score that is possible on the arcade version of Pac-Man? And it's kind of interesting because you would think you would just keep going until you die. But the score is actually 3,333,360. And to do that, you have to do 255 levels, eating every possible dot, fruit, power pellet, and enemy ghost, and get the maximum score once again, the final level. After 255 is when the game crashes. And another interesting bit of trivia is that it's only been achieved by fewer than 10 people, as far as I can tell.
Crazy.
So that's your answer.
How many corners do you have to go through to actually get anywhere near 255 levels?
I have no idea.
That's a lot of practice.
I just saw something about the Pac-Man thing. Apparently, Billy Mitchell, there's some modded Pac-Man thing where the game starts at the kill screen.
Really?
And apparently he cleared that kill screen and got to the next level somehow.
Interesting.
So.
Okay.
That's weird.
All right, well, here we are. This is Retro Reload. This is going to be the E3 edition, 2015. We'll start off with introducing everybody. Of course, Tyler brought us in a while ago with the trivia. Timothy's here. You want to wave your hand?
Hello.
From Canada.
From Canada.
I'm on a
all
bad
the way from
flag.
Canada via the internet.
Canadian viewer.
Yes.
Mr. Nikon, we call him Charles.
From Chicago.
Fighter pilot, also known as Jeremy, and tuning in via telephone. On the phone is Chris-V. So
what's up,
we just got done with
my gamers?
E3.
And don't forget about Chaos.
You got Panic Chaos.
That's okay, I'm forgettable.
Is he here?
Yeah.
How bad?
Well, he drops out all the time, so we kind of do forget about him
I
sometimes.
forgot to scroll over. Y'all have to forgive me. And Bad at Chaos. And my iPad as well. Nothing but class here, folks. All right, guys. E3 just happened. Anybody want to kick us off with where we want to start?
I think Fighter Pilot has a whole list of the topics there.
Okay, so we'll start off with what happened Sunday morning. We'll go in lists of order. So the first thing was Sunday morning. It was Nintendo Super Smash Bros. Announcement. They had quite a bit of content, from new fighters to new Mii costumes to amiibos to stages to new tournament modes. So does anybody want to talk about the 3 returning fighters? Who wants to take that one?
Well, I mean, does anybody care about? You'd have to be a big Smash fan to care about it. Or, I mean, maybe.
Yeah, I purchased all that good stuff. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was kind of interesting in that, can you guys hear me okay? I'm just...
Yes, you're
Yeah,
right.
you're fine.
Okay, sorry. Basically, a few months ago they'd announced, what's his name? Lucas was going to be coming back, and I expected, he would probably release or something around E3, but then they go ahead and release, these trailers for, Roy and Ryu, and I was pretty excited, pretty pumped. So I was just kind of taken back. I was just kind of surprised that they released all that. I just presumed that would be coming in the next few months or something, but it just dropped that day and shut down their servers for a good, 3-4 hours.
Have you followed Ryu yet?
Yeah, he's pretty interesting in that he basically has the most amount of moves in the game. What they did with him is that there's a difference between just a light tap or a quick tap versus a hold of a button. So he essentially has double the attacks pretty much. Well, I shouldn't say double, but a lot. So it could make for kind of interesting
Also,
combos with that character.
If you input the original commands from back in the day, the moves are all stronger on a couple of his moves.
That's
really
correct.
cool.
like Hadouken and those kind of things. Yep.
Okay, for the prices for Roy and Lucas, it's Wii U and 3DS, $3.99 each. But if you get the 3DS Wii U combo, they're $40.99 each. And for Ryu and his stage, the castle, for Wii U it's $3.99. For 3DS it's $5.99. And for the Wii U 3DS combo, it's $6.99. Those are the prices for it right now. It's kind of steep for Ryu, but that's just me.
Well, no, I mean, if it's a whole new character and it's a whole new experience, I'm not mad at it. I mean, that's... I don't know.
I mean, you could
argue
argue
it
that.
wasn't like day one downloadable content.
Because I think Nintendo knows people are gonna.
I'm not mad at it. I'm pretty pumped to try Ryu.
I know people are gonna. Nintendo knows people are gonna buy it the first day it comes out, the first day it's available. You know, no matter what price it's gonna be.
That is true.
So.
Yeah. People will buy them just because they're amiibos.
Which they have a lot coming out, including all the fighters for Smash Bros. Will be coming amiibos, according to Sunday.
Bring on.
I'm really excited for the Game & Watch one.
I want Rob.
Yeah.
That's a
Rob
good one.
I want
The
Nathan
Rob
Dunk
Game & Watch
Hunt.
would be
The
pretty
Duck Hunt
awesome.
dog's gonna be sweet.
I like the Game & Watch one because it showed like you can swap them out.
There's also 8 new Mii Fighter costumes coming out. Anyways, from Mega Man to Zero to Splatoon Boy and Girl to some from Tekken, some from Virtua Fighter. So let's see what else. There's a
I
couple
didn't know Virtua Fighter was a big enough series to
Me either.
constitute being it. I mean, it wouldn't be the same level as Street Fighter. Maybe other parts of the world it is. I don't know.
But, yeah.
Anything else to say, or should we move on to?
All right. Well, let's go ahead.
Keep on
Let's
rolling.
move on.
Okay. Did any of you guys watch Nintendo World Championship?
Did anybody watch the Nintendo World Championship?
I did.
I did not.
I did.
I wasn't able to.
I wish I would have watched it. It sounded really interesting.
It was really good. I was surprised. I thought it'd be like a Call of Duty tournament, but I watched it. It was actually really good. This is how it worked. The first round, it was Splatoon. So, which is actually a cool game. I was watching this. It looked really cool. They had to paint the field, and whoever had the most won. So the losing teams had to go to the elimination round. And the game they played was Legend of Zelda for the NES, and they had a race to beat Dungeon 1.
That's unique.
Whoever beat Dungeon 1 the fastest went to it's called the Underground, so they went to the next stage. The next stage was round 2, which was Blast Ball. It was from another game we'll mention later. But anyway, after the Blast Ball, the elimination round was Super Metroid, beat Mother Brain and escape, or to live the longest. So, if who please beat Mother Brain and escape before Super Metroid. It's not easy.
Oh, come on.
The guy who did it, though, if you go back and watch it, it was amazing. This guy's run. He was pretty much flawless. So, okay, real quick, round 3 was Mario Kart 8, and elimination round was Balloon Fight.
Huh.
Yeah, I was surprised.
It's a pretty random game. I mean, it was in the NES remix, but other than that, that's pretty random. That's a deep cut.
Round 4 was Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U, and the final round was Super Mario Maker, which was good to the last stage, and the other guy, he pretty much choked and got destroyed.
Huh.
Does anybody want to talk about what happened to Reggie during the show?
You got Pwn.
Sure.
If you guys want to talk about it, or you don't remember.
Sure, talk about it.
I don't have any idea.
Okay, so last year Reggie told the champion of the Super Smash Bros. He'll kick his ass next year. He said ass too. I'll kick your ass next year. So right before the final fight on Smash Brothers, Reggie comes out, the champion comes out, and they play each other. And Reggie uses Ryu, gets destroyed.
That's just a chance to show Ryu off.
That's why I said it. Personally, I think he kind of just lost on purpose, just the way he was playing.
It sucks that they used the whole era of Nintendo games for that.
It was
That
interesting.
That they didn't stick to one
That
system.
is,
Okay.
yeah. No, I really like that they didn't just use like the current gen stuff to try to make it a commercial.
Yeah.
They use like the deep cuts, like balloon fighting. Who would have thought they would have tried balloon fight?
Yeah, that's one of
I didn't see
the
Balloon Fight coming.
Balloon Fight's one of the original launch titles from the.
And it was funny because the announcer
Yeah,
kept
old
saying,
school black
"Don't
box
get
game,
near the
man.
water. Don't get near the water." And they're like, "No, don't spoil it for them." Because the monster comes out easy if you get near the water.
I think the round 1 elimination is my favorite of all of that. The Legend of Zelda NES Race to Beat Dungeon 1. That's
Actually, I had to give it to the Super Metroid because that guy was flawless when he was doing it. The whole crowd was like freaking out just because the lava was coming up on him.
unfortunately I wasn't able to watch the entire thing, but
I have links. I'll send you to that later.
yeah, I have the links for it, but not much
Okay.
to talk about for like actual execution of it. But I think the idea is pretty cool.
'Cause I know I could have done it. I would have got killed.
I mean,
Okay.
I would like to
Yes.
see them do this. Maybe not every year, but maybe
Yeah.
every 2
Couple
or 3,
years?
5
Yeah,
years.
I agree. Every couple of
Yeah.
years would be good.
It's like
Not every
it's,
20 years, though.
It'd be fun to see.
Well, back in 1990, they did it. That was the first one, and I think this is kind of it's different because they used new stuff, old stuff, but back then it was all, well, it was new stuff at the time. It was all old stuff. Now,
Yeah.
So I thought it was kind of cool the way they did it because I actually participated in that when I was a kid. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't make it very far, but it was kind of cool. I did watch a little bit of it, and it was kind of brought back some memories of the original.
It was cool the way it's done. I like the elimination being retro game. That was really cool, I thought.
Yeah, it was a good idea.
Because, it's like, anybody can play modern games, but how many of them still remember how to beat some of the retro games? Or even play the retro games? Because those kids were young. They'll be younger than me.
And to run through the end of Super Metroid, that's not an easy game. I mean, it's not super difficult, but to make a run through it just kind of cold and hadn't played it in years.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's pretty impressive.
Okay, so let's go to Sunday night, which was my favorite event, was Bethesda.
Yeah.
Actually, there
But
is
Jeremy,
one.
go ahead and tell us about this one.
Well, Bethesda, we'll go for my favorite one last, because it's best for
Oh,
last.
okay, we're gonna save
Okay.
that.
First one was actually Doom, which was a trailer. You guys want to talk about Doom?
Yeah.
Okay, wait, let me give some facts real quick, okay? It's going to release in spring of 2016. It's for Xbox, PS4, and PC. Fast-paced, arena-style, domination, freeze tag, clan arena, and you can also make your own Doom maps. These are facts they said during the show.
Yeah, the Doom Snap map is a good idea.
So you want to go first, Tyler?
Yeah, I watched the video, and I watched after the fact, and I thought it was really cool. My only thing was it seems like it's, the closest thing I can equate it to because of my experiences was Unreal Tournament. I think they're going for that kind of, like you said, like the like in a different kind of setting, I guess, like with the freeze tag and all the other things. That's something the Unreal Tournament had. So to me, visually it looks great, but I don't get the Doom vibe from it because I grew up playing Doom on the PC forever ago, and it was great, and it was so maybe it's just my own view on it, but it doesn't look like Doom. It looks like something else.
A revamp at most.
Yeah, it looks great. I can't fault on anything, but it doesn't feel like Doom.
It's pretty
Yeah,
boring,
it doesn't.
too, if you're watching it. How about you, Timothy? What do you think of the new Doom?
I've only played the old Doom a tiny bit, but I think, again, it looks visually pleasing, but yeah, it looks more like a tournament shooter versus Doom. I'd agree with
I got a
that.
Halo feeling out of it.
Is that really a bad thing? Is it a bad thing that they're trying something different?
Well, for your purists, yeah, because your purists are going to I want a real Doom game.
Yeah, and it's as a throwback kind of thing, but I think it's a good idea still.
Well, is the single player not still there? Is there not a single player
Oh, there's a single player.
Doom
sure.
with the Doom feel? With the demons and the gates to hell and all that stuff.
I love
it's still there.
Well, there might be, but all they've shown is that one level,
Yeah.
which looked like some kind of factory or
Right.
something. So yeah, maybe there is a hell level. That would be great.
It did seem a bit slower than most
Yeah.
arena shooters from what they showed, which kind of has more of that Doom feel to it, because Doom wasn't. Well, I guess they actually mentioned fast-paced, but I don't know. Doom didn't feel super fast-paced when I was playing it, and except for certain parts, but it was kind of more dealing with waves of really powerful enemies and trying to survive. But that could have just been my take.
I would agree with that. You're talking about the original Doom for PC?
Yeah, the original Doom.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I actually liked that the original Doom wasn't really terribly fast-paced for one major reason. When imps and stuff were shooting at you and rockets were coming at you, it was actually possible, given the physics and the speed of everything, for you to dodge stuff. So you didn't have to, part of it was, like just getting swarmed with enemies, but there was a certain amount of dexterity and skill. And I think that ability to, like, dodge projectiles on purpose versus just having it happen by accident in, like, a maelstrom of stuff has been lost in some of the faster-paced shooters. It's really not, as possible to outrun the projectiles and everything.
It's more jump behind cover.
Right. So I kind of like that about the old Doom, that you could dodge fireballs, you could dodge rockets and things like that, and for me it made it feel a bit more immersive.
I think we'll have to see how it looks when it comes out. More gameplay is shown.
Nikon, what do you think of the new Doom?
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
So.
Pass.
I've only played the original Doom on the PC way back in 1990, whatever.
Is it being developed by id or some other person they're hiring out?
I didn't write that down. Who was doing it? Oh, that's to say it's under their name, so I assume they're. I'm not sure.
I didn't even think they mentioned anybody else, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
They must be doing it.
Well, like for example, the last Wolfenstein was not, or not the New Order, but what was the 2009, for example? That was like Ravensoft or something. So, but I don't know. I was just wondering if it was some other company, but.
All right. So, next game was Dishonored 2. Some facts: you can either use a male or female character. You can play the entire game without killing anyone, and it comes out for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Currently, no release date.
I'm personally actually really excited for this. I really enjoyed the original Dishonored. It
I personally
lived up
did not.
to its promise a bit. I don't know. I took it for what it was. I mean, I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed what you could do in the game. Like you could go.
Yeah, to me it just felt. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was nice. There are some options available to you that is, that is kind of intriguing. But I don't know if you just wanted to, like, if you didn't play stealth and you just went all out, it was very, very easy game just to blast your way through. So it just kind of became like a meta game in that, I could choose to make it harder by if I wanted to play it like a stealth game, like Thief or something. But I don't know. Otherwise, like I just played it like just like a game of whack-a-mole, just went around shooting stuff, and it wasn't, wasn't very, wasn't very entertaining from that aspect. It just felt like BioShock with different powers, basically. I don't know.
I'd agree with that there. It was like if you went through on a kill run, it was super easy, but if you were trying to challenge yourself by like not killing people or only killing people,
I'm sure there's plenty. Yeah. I'm sure there's plenty of entertainment there, I mean, for people who like stealth games, but advertising it as a game that you can go about it any way you want to, like, it just that wasn't really there for me.
Yeah.
And it just, like I said earlier, just kind of felt too much like BioShock. It's just like, powers, killing, hiding, I don't know, whatever.
I can see that for sure. We'll see, maybe they'll fix that with Dishonored 2, maybe making it more challenging when you go for the kill approach.
But I mean, gameplay aside, though, I do love aesthetically. I love the theme and the setting of the game. It was really cool.
Yeah,
the characters and the visual design, and everything was like awesome. But
they give you motivation not to kill people too. The whole idea of not becoming what they believe you are. So there was that motivation there, story-wise, but at the same time, if you wanted to just ignore the story and go in and kill everybody, you could.
Yep. But yeah, so hopefully I'd like to see what they do in Dishonored 2 to remedy maybe some of that. But yeah, looking forward to that.
Do you have any comments, Chris?
Not with regards to Dishonored, no.
Okay. How about you, Jason?
I got nothing, man. I don't know. I've never played the first one.
Okay.
It seemed kind of interesting, but just not for me.
Nikon?
I have no comments.
Pugmire?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I got nothing.
All right. So there's also
That was
to
really
note
interesting.
that
Yeah.
Hey, Turf,
Yeah, what's up?
I do want to say bring the camera down a little bit. All I'm getting is your eyeballs and your forehead, buddy. There we go.
okay. Also note, Dishonored Definitive Edition will also be releasing with updated graphics for the new gen. That's for the last one, I assume. Okay, then there's Elder Scrolls Online and Elder Scrolls Legends. Legends is a strategy card game, free to play, and it's for PC and iPad. Then Elder Scrolls Online, it mostly showed in-game scenes. So I'm not a fan, but you guys can discuss it.
I feel that Elder Scrolls Online is a good game if you didn't mention the fact that it was Elder Scrolls. If it was something else online, it would be fun, but I expect more out of it because it has Elder Scrolls. And
Fair enough.
it doesn't deliver.
I love the honesty.
Yeah, that's kind of what I gathered from it. I mean, I haven't played it personally, but yeah, I heard. I mean, it was okay game. It just wasn't an Elder Scrolls game.
Yeah. If you go in with the mindset of MMORPG, it's fun. If you go in with the mindset of Elder Scrolls, it's lackluster. It's missing something.
Because you expect more from Bethesda.
But, I enjoy it when I play it, and my brother really enjoys it. I prefer to play Skyrim if I want to get immersed in the world. I don't feel like it immerses you in the world the same way.
Anybody else got comments on Elder Scrolls, or let's move on to the big announcement?
Okay.
All right, so the big announcement, Timothy. Well, it's a big announcement for Bethesda.
Oh, that would be Fallout 4, the hype train.
I'm on that hype train.
I am as well.
So, Fallout 4. Let's get some quick information. It's releasing November 10th, 2015. Collector edition comes with an actual Pip-Boy where you can put your smartphone in it, and it includes an app, which, yes, I did pre-order.
Yeah. Also pre-ordered.
I can hear you beaming for this.
Second favorite series, so yes, I am extremely excited for this whole game. So you want to start with it, Timothy?
Well, one thing Bethesda does really well is making a world that you want to go back to. And it looks like they continued that in Fallout 4 amazingly. From their presentation of it to the actual gameplay they showed, it, so far from what I've seen, is living up to the expectations, but of course this is still the hype train. But it's a world I want to go into, I want to visit, I want to revisit. It looks awesome.
You guys got any comments before I go through more of the facts about the game? The rest of you?
No, I do not. Go ahead.
All right.
I'll tell you what, Jeremy, they should give you a free copy of the game just the way you're selling it. I'm probably going to buy this game, even though I've never played a Fallout game. Just because how excited you are about it. So I got to watch
Jason,
videos.
you will not be
This sounds
disappointed
like
to
I
play
might
this.
be into.
Trust me.
So I've never played into the Fallout games, but I'm interested. I'm probably going to check this out.
Okay,
So if anybody at Bethesda hears this, give that guy a free copy.
or give me something cool, because I already got the pre-order in. But yeah, I'll take anything. Okay, some facts. They've been working on it since Fallout 3 release. The game starts before the bombs drop, right before, because in the game, it's a nuclear war that destroys the Earth. Let's see, you're actually a sole survivor 200 years later, so you survived after the bombs in the vault for 200 years. You do get a dog who cannot die, which I found out today. You can get the dog commands. The dog helps you fight. Location is downtown Boston. You can finally layer your armor. You can actually play video games on your Pip-Boy, like there's one like Mario. Here's a new feature. You can rebuild buildings and rearrange stuff. You can make actual cities now, or little towns.
That looked really cool, the way that they were
Yes.
showing that.
Now, I don't mean to blow a hole in the ironclad story, but like if you're the sole survivor, like who are your adversaries?
No, in a vault, you're the sole survivor. You're the only one in the vault that lived.
So for those who haven't played a Fallout game, I guess, there's a company called Vault-Tec, and they made vaults for people to go into during this, well, when the bombs dropped, essentially. And in each one, there were these survivors, and they stayed there essentially for generations, in most cases. And then when you come out, most of your adversaries are the mutant creatures, those who have left vaults earlier, and those who somehow survived without the vaults.
Yeah, because there's hundreds of vaults throughout the United States, and if you
So
read,
you're the sole survivor in this particular vault, then,
Yes.
not in the
Yeah.
entire.
the survivor of this
Okay,
vault.
that was my misunderstanding.
Okay.
Like that would be the most boring game in the world if like you're
From
the
my
sole
understanding,
survivor and you must fight no one because everyone's dead.
And I'm gonna redesign these buildings because
Yeah.
I've got nothing else to do.
I got nothing else to do. I'll play Tetris with real buildings.
People will be able to join your small town, so you got to make food, water, generators.
Hey,
there's
Dad,
large-
did you not play Castaway the game?
No. There's over 700 mods for 50 guns, and you can change your power armor, which is important. There's also a new phone and tablet game that released Sunday called Fallout Shelter. Make your own vault. Looked whatever. I didn't download it.
So one thing I want to see in Fallout 4, and I really hope it's there, if not there on release, I'm sure someone will mod it in, is virtual reality support with either Oculus Rift or the HTC Vive. Because,
That would be amazing.
yeah, it's high enough resolution, but it still has, it's kind of not hyper-realistic, so it would look good in virtual reality.
I still want to see them bring back the party system like in the originals. I don't know how that would work, but I want to see it.
Yeah, because the original Fallout's completely different than your Fallout 3 in New Vegas.
Yeah, I've been playing Wasteland 2 recently, and I love that kind of gameplay. The turn-based strategy / RPG / awesome.
Alright, so let's go on to Monday, and the first presentation was by Xbox Microsoft, and the first game was Halo 5, which releases on October 27, 2015. Game info: you control 2 Spartan squads. Multiplayer info: 24 players, AI enemies 4 times the size of old multiplayer maps. So, I'm not a Halo fan. You guys can talk about that.
There is one thing, though, that I think we kind of forgot. There was something else on Sunday that happened. Earthbound Beginnings. I don't know if you want to talk about it later, but it released on Sunday. I don't know if anybody downloaded it, knows about it, knows what it is.
Yeah, it's a
Anybody?
Ness's game, right?
Well, so it's the first in the Mother series, which was in Japan. So it's the first time that American audiences have seen the game, and so Earthbound, what we know as Earthbound, is actually Mother 2. So
Okay.
it's the first game in that series. So, like I said, it's the first time that America can actually play it. That's not emulated or on a bootleg or something like that.
Yeah.
So,
What I thought was kind of funny about Mother 1 was that, like, apparently the game was, like, pretty much, like, 100% translated. Like, they're getting ready to bring it over here, but then they didn't because it was just so late in the cycle of, an 8-bit cycle. And, yeah, kind of interesting.
yeah, I'd heard that too. So I think the game itself, if you played Earthbound, it's what I've played so far. I've only played it a little bit. It's very much Earthbound. So if you played Earthbound, you like Earthbound, you probably like this. It's a step back though, so it's not, don't go in expecting Earthbound. But it's the same kind of mechanics, the same sort of gameplay. But the graphics and the controls are a little off, But I think it's also very important though, because I think that it shows that Nintendo is listening. It's one of those games
Yeah.
that's been everybody's really hyped about and wanted to play. Why won't they bring it over? They finally did, and so I think it shows that they are actually paying attention. They are listening, and more important, I think it shows that they have the capability to do this kind of thing. To bring some, because this is the second Japanese game to come over. The first was the Super Mario Bros. 2 Japanese version. So in the whole history of the Wii and the Wii U, it's only the second game.
No, not necessarily true. There was the Mystery of Mirasami Castle or whatever.
Oh, you're right.
Was released on the 3DS.
You are right. I forgot about that. But yeah, so I mean, it shows that they are paying attention, which I think is important.
Yeah, I think that's cool. Now, if we can just get the Virtual Boy games on Virtual Console for 3DS in stereoscopic 3D, that would be amazing.
You don't want it in red?
Yeah, maybe there'll be color options, but yeah.
That would be nice. Virtual Boy was actually what got me into virtual reality to begin with. I remember seeing it at a secondhand video game store.
Really?
That's funny. Yeah, funny enough, I'm actually tearing apart one right now.
There you go.
Scrapping it for parts. Oh yeah.
I remember the old virtual reality things from back in the early 90s or mid 90s.
Mm-hmm.
With the big goggles on, he stood in that big booth and just kind of
I remember those.
Never actually got to use those too much, but I remember seeing those type of virtual reality stuff.
I remember I never actually got to see one in person, but I've looked into those a lot and stuff. It was, super interesting technology. I think now we actually have the technology to make virtual reality an actual thing, but that's another story. Moving forward, I guess. I think we're going to get to some of that stuff later.
Yeah. Yes, I will. So anyway, continuing on Monday. What happened Monday?
Microsoft first was Halo 5, I just mentioned. I'm not a Halo fan, so you guys can discuss it.
Yes, after that sidetrack. I thought it looked awesome, actually. I like the fact that you aren't playing as Master Chief.
Yeah, it was interesting because there's 2 squads you're playing as, Alex said.
Yeah. I think it opens up the story a lot. Like, you're not locked to one character, you can see different parts of the story. Kind of like how ODST worked for its story. Except even then you were only playing one character, but... And the fact that you're also giving commands to your squad mates.
I've always hated games like that just because just go kill somebody. I don't want to get commands, I want to play.
Well, they'll probably do it themselves, but you can probably give them specific commands. If you want to focus something, or if you want them to, you take out the mooks, I'll take care of the big guys, or... I think it opens it up a bit more.
Well, let's see. Actually, I do have the Halo games. I'm just not a big fan, just for collection purposes, because I'm a collector. So I probably am giving it.
Yeah, I only played the first Halo for about 5 minutes before I gave up. I
made the mistake of playing Halo 1 on PC after playing Half-Life 2. So I was just like, what the hell is this piece of shit? Like, why are everybody hyped up about this game? I didn't understand it.
So don't get caught saying that. It's an Xbox, boys.
Bring it on, Xbox boys. Jeez.
I think the multiplayer in the new Halo also looks cool. It kind of makes it a bit different. Because not only are you fighting against two teams are fighting against each other, you have the AI enemies there as well. So it's PvPvE, which is fairly unique in a game like that. Like, you don't see that very often, and it could be really fun, because not only do you have to worry about Red Team, you also have to worry about all of these aliens attacking you.
That is true. Okay, the next game, which is, I believe it's a new IP, it's called ReCore, Xbox One exclusive, and it's coming out spring 2016. You guys remember that one? It was with a dog. She pulls out the thing and puts it in the machine. If I remember right.
Oh yeah. It looks interesting. I don't know.
Blaze want to talk about that, but he's not here today.
I didn't actually see too much of that one.
It looked interesting. It wouldn't be something I would buy, but it looked interesting. Anybody want to talk about that, or should we move on?
If anybody knows anything about it, I'd like to talk about it. But I mean, I don't know anything about
Red
it.
Blaze was one who want to talk about it, but he's not here now.
Let's just pretend that Red Blaze was here. There was a couple of F-bombs, and we were all edified.
Okay, so
I've got my sword here.
There we go. We're covered. We're good.
okay, so they moved on to some system information. And the first one is the Xbox One is now backwards compatible.
LOL.
Hell yeah.
Quotation marks.
All I can say is finally.
The Xbox One in general to me is just like a big freaking like backpedal after backpedal after backpedal. Like initially they were talking about no optical drive. The fans obviously went crazy. They said, okay, we'll put the optical drive back in, and then people were complaining about the Kinect being making the price too high. So they got rid of the Kinect, and now of course people have been bitching about the whole time of no backwards compatibility, and then they put that back in. You know what I mean? It's just really funny to me. It's just like them just backpedaling since the release of that system.
I think the only one that isn't them just not sticking with their guns is the backwards compatibility. Because that can
Well, it's
actually
having
be hard.
true backwards compatibility since I can get my 360 game and put it in. It's different.
Yeah, I was.
Well,
I
I
read
mean,
about
see, they could have done that from the beginning, but they didn't. I don't know. It's just
It's like you gotta go to the store and pick up the CD, and I don't know. It's just not true backwards compatibility like for PS2 to PS1. Like I could put my PS1 with PS2.
Yeah,
Can't do
what
that. It's
what
weird
I've-
how they're doing it.
read about that. You put your disc in, and the Xbox One goes to the cloud and downloads the game onto your computer or
Okay.
into your Xbox One.
Yeah.
But you still need a disc to play the game, even though you downloaded it.
Yeah, so it takes up my hard drive, which I never have space in the first place.
But it makes sense though, because what they're trying to avoid, right? What they're trying to avoid is I borrow my friend's games, load them all up in my Xbox One, download all the digital ones, and then give it back. So you can't have it both ways, right? If
Well, I mean, put the hardware in, that's what I mean.
how else are they going to sell you their terabyte unit?
I guess I don't have a problem with it. And I see it a little bit different. Like, I can definitely see Bad at Chaos's point of, okay, backpedal after backpedal. But I guess, like, if we remember that Microsoft is the youngest entrant into video gaming in terms of console gaming, right? They've only been with us for about 3 generations now. And so stuff that seems novel to them, like, I mean, Nintendo can basically print money. Even with a flop like the Wii U, 3DS is going to continue to print money for them. So you look at Sony, right? Sony can weather the storm of being the 600-pound gorilla who, damn it, this is how you're going to play your games, deal with it, right? Microsoft doesn't have that. Microsoft wants to be as big as Sony, but they don't have the experience and they don't have the footprint that either Sony or Nintendo have. They don't have the rabid fan base. They don't have the huge backlog of their own IP. So I think what you really see is you see Microsoft being very aggressive in trying new things because they want to be the top dog, but then they're hypersensitive to if this new thing is not going to be well received, let's go with what the public wants, which is, I mean, it's going to sound kind of weird, but in a way, Microsoft on console is what we wish they were in the operating systems. They're like the everyman console. If you shout, they're going to hear it and they're going to react to it, versus if you shout at Sony, they're going to say, yeah, that's really awesome, but we're doing this anyway. You'll thank us later, and then you never do.
I'm actually happy they're backing off because you remember what they said about the original Xbox One. Always online, no used games. They backed off all that because it pissed off everybody. I remember I was watching it and they're trying to sell. They're selling it as, oh, this is good. And I'm sitting here like, unless I'm high right now, this doesn't sound very good.
I remember Sony's reaction to that one commercial. This is how you share a game with PlayStation.
Yeah.
And he just held the game, handed it to the other guy, and done.
So in a sense, I'm happy they backed off because it's like, when I first heard the original, I was like, are you guys crazy? Just hopefully Sony doesn't do it too. Sometimes they do the follow leader. Oh, if they can pull it off, I can pull it off.
Yeah.
There's another possible victory here that I think kind of flies under the radar, and that's like digital games that they're going to make backward compatible will automatically show up as available. And what's unclear currently although this was on the list of titles that you could vote for, is how games like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Reshelled, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, games that you can no longer buy from the store that were, Xbox 360 and PS3 only. Is it possible that you could see? I don't think you'll see Scott Pilgrim vs. the World in the store again, but if you could resurrect your Scott Pilgrim vs. the World purchase from Xbox 360 and bring that into Xbox One, I mean that's gamer win right there.
For sure, I'd agree with that.
Gotta give about 6 months before we see how this works out.
Yeah,
You mean having like one universal account? Is that what you mean? Like you make a purchase on Xbox 360 and it transfers over? Is that what you're talking about?
They're talking about digital purchases that you made on your 360. If they make that backward, if the publisher says that can be backward compatible on the Xbox One, it becomes immediately available for you to download to your Xbox One. No purchase required.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, iTunes and Valve figured that out years ago, but yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to next time.
So my only thing is like, why now? The console's been out what, a year and a half, something like that.
Because they're not making their adoption rate numbers that they want to, basically.
It's blowing out of water, and they're still.
I think it's two things. I think it's the adoption rate that Bad at Chaos mentioned. I think that's a big part of it. I think another big part of it is this is really Microsoft got owned by Sony 2 E3s ago, and there was definitely, in the way that Microsoft worded it, right? Like, here at Microsoft, we don't think you should have to pay twice to play your old games or something to that effect. I mean, they were taking a direct shot at PlayStation Now because Sony's answer to backward compatibility is, we'll be more than happy to lease you the games you already own.
Yeah.
Right? Versus I think Microsoft is saying, hey, look, if what you want to play is your old games on a new system, we'll give you a way to do it, no money required. So it's just a way for them, I think, to differentiate themselves from Sony and to kind of maybe even apologize for, look, dude, before we weren't even going to let you, trade and resell your used games. Now it's like, bring your old games on for the ride. We listened, we heard you, we get it now.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, backwards compatibility has never been a huge system selling point unless it's at launch. Because at launch, you don't have any games to play. If it's 2 years into the lifespan, you've probably already got some games.
No, if you're cost conscious, no, right? I think Sony proved people don't $700 want backward compatibility.
That's true.
What they never allowed us to see is if people $300 wanted it.
Yeah.
So, because the PlayStation 2 was fully backward compatible with the PS1, and I'd like to believe it helped the sales. Nintendo, nearly every generation is backward compatible with at least the previous, and the adoption of their systems, for the most part...
At least in the handheld realm.
Yeah, in the handheld realm, they just continue to dominate because you can just keep... it was like 7 generations or something crazy like that before you couldn't play your original black and white Game Boy games.
Mm.
But I think you are right, though, Tyler. Like, if it's going to come at the cost of, like, the console costing $250 more, yeah, people don't want it that badly. But if you can throw it in for free, and I think that's, or very low cost, and that gets to what Timothy was saying, like, it costs a lot of money to make a console backward compatible, whether it's through emulation or just packing in more hardware that doesn't conflict with the existing hardware. And I think that's where Sony went, everybody says greed, whatever, but I think Sony going with Now was really just, if you want to play your old games, you got to make it worth us building all the infrastructure to make it happen. So they go to the cloud and they go to the lease model. Microsoft is just kind of like, dude, as long as you're on our console, we don't really care. So they're willing to burn a lot of money that's probably coming from other divisions in order to provide it as a free feature.
Yeah, it just seems, I don't know, kind of, I guess I still wonder why now. Why not? Because I know when they first announced it, they said, we can't do it because it's a whole different architecture, it's not physically possible, whatever. And then all of a sudden now they're like, well, yeah, we can.
Well, they also said that they weren't sure if it was possible. And I don't think that they were aligned there. I do think that it was extremely hard for them to actually get to that point. And I think that it's actually good that they put the effort in. They knew people wanted it. They put the effort in, whether it was to increase sales or whether it was specifically because they knew people wanted it. I don't think that in the long run matters too much. I think it benefits the people who want the system but don't want to have to have both.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a good thing. Don't get me wrong. It's a good thing. The timing to me is just a little,
I'm with you that I would be very interested to know the pedigree of where this came from. I mean, for all we know, there could have been just a very disgruntled / passionate developer there that was like, F it, it's not that hard, guys. I'll do it on my own in the weekend, and even if it takes me 6 months, I'll show you that we can do it and it'll be amazing. I mean, Mario Maker, in a way, came out that way. The DevOps division of Nintendo was working on tooling for them to rapidly put together Mario games, and then they went to Miyamoto and said, hey, there's a drought of Wii U games. Do you think maybe people would like to play around with something like this? And they're like, oh my gosh, that's gold.
Yeah, and it may have been that. It may have just been a couple of employees like that who were like, no, we can probably do this.
Okay. Could have been a lot of late nights and pizzas.
Yeah. One more thing about the system, there's a new Xbox One controller to release at a low cost of $150. Yeah, I'm joking. It's $150 for that new controller.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that's
just like a Logitech keyboard or something.
Does the controller squeeze my buttocks while I play?
I believe it has a hand warmer. No.
Let's actually, if we take a look at it from the people that they're actually targeting with it, though, being kind of a devil's advocate here, they're targeting it at professional gamers. People that are getting things like the Mad Catz controllers and stuff like that. Those controllers that already have those extra features. So I think they're directly targeting people like that rather than the casual gamer. And people like that, they're willing to spend that kind of money on a controller. My keyboard alone was $250 for a mechanical keyboard with backlight. I think it was actually less than that because it was a sale or something, but regular price it was pricey. And, I don't regret that purchase. I think that is great. I love my keyboard, and if I was a console gamer looking for something that was top of the end, I think that that's a beautiful controller for it, and I think the fact that it's not third-party makes it even better.
Yeah, it's a great-looking controller, and I think you're exactly right. It's not for everybody. It's not for, me, for example. I mean, what am I going to do with it?
Yeah, I would agree with what you were saying, Tim. Yeah, it's I think it's nice that they're giving more options than just the standard cheap controller. They're actually giving they're actually thinking, oh, maybe some people want to pay more for a controller. Maybe you know what I mean? Yeah.
And when I first saw it, I was like,
yeah,
that's ridiculous. As well, I was looking at the controller, I was like, that's super nice. Looked at the price, that's super expensive. But then I was thinking about it, and I was like, how much have I spent on peripherals for my computer? How much have I seen other people spend on peripherals for console because they don't like the original controllers? And I already like the Xbox One controllers. I mean, I'm not a console gamer, but the next-gen controllers on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One are actually really nice. And that one, I think, just goes one step above. So I think there's a market for it. I don't think that they're even silly to charge that much for it. I think it's a really good idea.
Oh, I don't think you're going to. You're exactly right. I don't think there. I mean, there is a market. I should rephrase this. There is a market for it, definitely. I don't think you're going to be able to walk into Walmart and buy it. I think it's going to be they'll probably be very limited and a select.
Definitely
probably like a Best
EB
Buy.
Games, GameStop, Best Buy, and online purchases.
Yeah, because I mean, I can't imagine, like I said, going to Walmart. To see
So wait a minute. Does this mean that now the pack-in controllers have become the Walmart of controllers?
Pretty much.
They've become the Kmart of controllers.
The Kmart of controllers.
The thing though, the ones that the Xbox One comes with are still super nice. So for the average gamer, it's still a really good controller.
Yeah.
But
my only concern, I mean, it's not really a concern because I don't really care. But if you're online gaming and you're playing Call of Duty or whatever the hell it is, and you're playing against somebody who has one of these controllers, and I mean they might be better than you. Who knows? It might be the controller. Does it give somebody an unfair advantage in online play? I don't know.
From PC point of view, because PC has kind of had this issue for a long time.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Somebody can go at you with
people scripting and
well, yeah, but like you look at basic Dell keyboards and mice. You give a good gamer one of those, and then a bad gamer the top of the end gear, or even an average gamer, and the good gamer's still going to win. It's more to give them the edge against the higher level plays, as well as just to make their game like.
yeah. What kind of features does this new controller have anyway? I haven't really read about it. I've just seen pictures of what it looks like. Have they announced like what features it actually has?
Yeah. So all of the the thumbsticks and everything, all of those are interchangeable. So you can get ones that are longer, shorter, ones that curve outwards, ones that curve inwards. Things
cool.
that you had to
Okay.
get as attachments before are now part of the controller. There's toggle
Just kind of
switches
like
on the bottom.
ergonomic stuff. Okay, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Oh, they have a longer throw, right? Is that also
Yeah, you can-
with thumbsticks?
Yeah, and you can also adjust how far you have to pull the triggers. So you can either just pull it pull it only a slight bit, or all the way. So I think,
That actually might be worth it now that I hear more about it.
yeah, I mean, the idea is to give people the customization that they expect from a high-end gaming product without have to be third party.
Okay.
So
One more thing. On
Next
Fallout.
topic.
Next
Okay,
time.
next topic. This is real quick about Fallout 4. Mods that are created on PC will be able to go to the Xbox One for free. They also confirmed it for PlayStation 4. That's just real quick.
That's pretty cool, but I remember Epic did that with Unreal Tournament 3 in 2007 with PlayStation 3. You can make mods on that, but yeah, it's still pretty cool.
Okay, on to Forza 6. I'm not a racing guy, so I know the 4GT will be added to the game, which they're making a big deal about it during the presentation.
Project
Any comments on
Cars, I like Project Cars better.
I'm not in racing games. I suck at racing games, so.
I'm not into racing games, but I'm looking forward to Project Cars, and Forza is also really beautiful. But
I give it. It looks really nice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not much into racing games other than like Mario Kart, but I mean, visually it looks beautiful. I can't say anything bad about it. Like, it looks phenomenal.
It seems like all racing games look beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's true. I guess that's just part of the whole aesthetic of it. Like, that's one of the things for it. You want to feel like you have that car.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll move on. This one's for Chris. Chris, you want to announce the next one? It's your game.
Which one? Are you talking Star Fox Zero or Mario Maker?
Rise of Tomb Raider?
Oh, Rise of the Tomb Raider.
That's
Yeah.
Microsoft.
I'm excited for it. Now I'm debating, though, because since I pretty much decided I'm going to get an Xbox One and a PS4 this generation, the backward compatibility and Rare Replay pushed me over the edge. I'm debating now, like, do I get Tomb Raider, the second one for Xbox One, or do I hold out and see if the PS3 or the PS4 version is better? So I still don't know.
You'll probably buy them both.
The gameplay footage looked really good. What I like about it is I know a lot of people had a complaint with the first new Tomb Raider game that they said, like, okay, she goes from like innocent girl to like maiming people by, like the end of the game and not even caring. What was really cool is they actually in the trailer, even before E3, they showed in the trailer her speaking with a therapist, where she's pretty traumatized by that whole experience of what happened, and so it looks like, at least the way they've kind of framed it in the trailer, that her becoming this adventurer in some ways is her coping mechanism for the stuff that she's had to endure. So she's not yet, you get the impression that although she may appear on the outside like she's okay with like laying waste to whoever stands in her way, I like that they have the undertones of it's not that cut and dry, that there's some damage done underneath the hood that she's trying to work through. So
maybe there'll be a therapy minigame.
I don't know about that. I just like that they're going with a deeper character. I like that we have Tomb Raider games that are about, they're very Indiana Jones-ish, but with a female protagonist, and that it's no longer just about, polygon boobs. I really like that they're making her a fully fleshed out character, no pun
It's a
intended.
mature franchise now.
Yeah.
Mature in the opposite way.
Right.
But not necessarily.
And fully fleshed out in the showing less flesh sort of way.
Yeah. And I like that because there's definitely a character there to explore.
Yeah, and I think this might actually become, I don't think like overnight or whatever, but I think this is the move that needs to happen to help enable, women that have been kind of put off by the female heroines in games being like sex objects and stuff. I think this is a necessary step in providing legitimate female heroes that girl gamers could want to get into without going, who dresses like that? Why does she have to look like a Barbie doll? So I'm not saying that I think that tons of women will like flock to the game and go, oh my goodness, best game ever. But that I don't think that can happen in gaming in a big way, so long as most games still see women as eye candy in a game.
Yeah, I agree there.
Anybody else about it? Tyler?
I got nothing. I've never played a Tomb Raider game, so.
Me either. Okay, so the next one is another new IP. It's called Sea of Thieves. You're on pirate ships from what it looks like. Let's see if I got my notes right. Let's see. Sea of Thieves. I'm lost right now.
Turn to left at the corner.
Sea of Thieves is clearly a really interesting game that we all can't wait to get our hands on and play. We just can't get enough information about it, as witnessed by the fact that we can't
Xbox
find our
exclusive.
information.
That's all I got. It looks like you're ships with other players, and I don't know. It looks like a MMO, whatever it's called.
Okay. Next.
MMO Pirates? I'm on board.
Okay, let's see. Oculus Rift will come with a new Xbox controller when you buy it. Just lightly touch on that. Okay, Rare Replay. I know you guys are ready for that one. Let's talk about the Rare Replay.
Yes.
I want to interject one little thing real quick about the Oculus Rift and the controller thing.
Okay.
Is this a sign of things to come? Because Facebook owns Oculus Rift. I mean, is Microsoft and Facebook joining forces? Is this? I just kind of wonder where this is going. It might be nothing. I don't know.
It might be nothing. I think it is kind of nothing. I think they just needed a controller to throw in with it. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I think there's
other than just using a mouse and keyboard. But
yeah, I mean the way I understand it, the Xbox One controller can be used as a USB or a Bluetooth controller just generically.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it could be that the Oculus.
Kind of like how the 360 was. 360 controller is like that. You just plug and play it.
So I think it's like Bad at Chaos said, like Oculus Rift needs a controller. Microsoft has a controller that works for PC gaming as well as, console gaming. If we mention the Minecraft demo, I'll get back to my thoughts on Oculus Rift versus Microsoft's HoloLens.
Okay, if we go to the HoloLens, so then we can have a bit of a thing on that.
Let's talk about Rare Replay, because these guys are ready for that one right now. So facts about Rare Replays. 30 Rare games, not Rare games, but the company Rare, includes Perfect Dark Pro, Am, Conker's Bad Fur Day, many other, and releases August 4th, 2015. 2015. So, you want to start off tonight, Constance? You've been quiet so far tonight?
What's the Rare?
The Rare Replay?
I haven't heard too much about that. I just kind of like skimmed over the E3 stuff, so it sounds interesting. I don't have too many current gen systems, so.
But you do have some of those games, I'm sure.
Probably do, yeah.
I personally want it.
Did you ever play at Galloping Ghost? Did you ever play the Battletoads arcade game?
Yes.
That's going to be in Rare Replay.
Oh, nice.
I think I'm super excited for it, at least. Conker's Bad Fur Day and Banjo-Kazooie, games that I kind of grew up with a bit, and I'm super excited to actually play them again, other than having to.
Freaking Conker's almost like $100 now. Or
Yeah.
64.
And being able to be able to play them without having to spend a whole bunch to get an N64 again and that kind of thing, because I mean, I would love to be able to collect games like a lot of you guys do, but I can't afford it at the moment. So this is a good way that I can go back to those games without having to find these consoles. And a lot of these games that I want to play are super hard to find because I'm not the only one who has such fond memories of them.
Yeah, you're also not the only one that can't afford them or doesn't want to pay into the the current inflated prices and stuff. I never played Conker's Bad Fur Day. I didn't have an N64 until later on, and now like Jeremy was saying, with it being $100 game, like I don't $100 want to play it. But I $30 want to play it, and then
Xbox, but it's worth it though.
RC Pro-Am 2. We talked about this a little bit on Tuesday on the show prior to this one. If you were to total up all the games that Rare Replay has given you, I think it's actually cheaper to buy Rare Replay in an Xbox One than it is to buy all 30 of those games off of eBay right now.
You would probably be right, sadly.
So it's amazing. I think it's another sign of this E3 to me was all about Nintendo is listening, Rare is listening, Square is listening, Microsoft. They're listening to the gamers. They're watching the internet. They're seeing the trends on eBay and stuff. I mean, if you look at Rare Replay, like they didn't just bundle together like random stuff. Like they grabbed the AAA titles. If it was something that was going to cost you $50 or more on eBay, it's in there, which is amazing.
Is Slalom in there?
GoldenEye.
I don't know if GoldenEye is there, but I know Perfect Dark is in there.
Yeah, Perfect Dark's there.
GoldenEye, I think, isn't in there because basically any of the games that required like licensing, like you're not going to see obviously the Donkey Kong Country games, you're not going to see GoldenEye, but anything that was there, like Rare's own IP, that was like AAA blockbuster status, it's in Rare Replay.
Banjo.
Okay, here's a big one. Timmy wants to bring this one up. It's the HoloLens and Minecraft. You want to start with that?
Whoever wants to start with that. I mean, I'm more.
You can start.
We wanted to get into a conversation about HoloLens versus like Oculus Rift and stuff, but HoloLens looks awesome. Like
describe what HoloLens is, because I totally missed the boat on what the hell that's supposed to be. Is it like augmented reality, virtual reality? What's the deal with it?
So HoloLens is augmented reality, which is a separate thing from virtual reality. So with the HoloLens, you're going to actually be looking at your coffee table, and then stuff will show up on the coffee table. So they showed Minecraft on it.
Can we talk about the camera real quick they were using?
Yes. So the camera they were using was, in their demo, was actually showing what you would see if you had a HoloLens on. So
it's really cool.
Yeah, they were able to move it around and stuff and show you what you would see with it on.
It was like Legos.
And it looked so seamless, by the way, that I had to repeatedly throughout the video remind myself, this is live. This is not visual effects. Like you are literally, and there were two things I thought were really amazing about it. One, this is the first time I've ever seen anything augmented reality, virtual reality, whatever, because I've used Google Glass and all this other crap. But this is the first time I really saw something that looked to me like this works. This could be a real thing, right? Like this is something like I want to buy.
3DS had it, but it was pretty limited.
And again, like in the demo, right? You have to see the demo. In the demo, like literally, they have a Minecraft level rise up out of the table, right? The guy's walking around the table, and you can see from the camera angle, right? You can see him walking behind the the Minecraft world and everything, and it looks like the Minecraft world is between. Like I'd have to reach through the world to shake his hand across the table.
Yeah, you feel like you want to move, like you want to reach around it rather than.
It's like a big window set that's there.
Yeah, and then they were showing stuff like he can actually like he could look inside a building by like he could literally just lean into the table and put his head through a building, and now he's seeing inside that part of the building. Like
and you speak and say find player, and it'll go find a player.
Right, and it kind of scrolled the world to that part of the game. What was really cool about it too was that, unlike what I'm afraid is going to happen with Oculus Rift, is you're going to have a bunch of plain games coming out that also work on the Oculus Rift, and basically all you're doing is you're playing a game with two high-def screens, like 2 inches from your eyes, right? It's going to be motion sickness, equilibrium problems, all kind of stuff. What was cool about the HoloLens is they took Minecraft and they clearly modified it to take into account the fact that this is augmented reality. So they didn't try to you didn't see any of the sky or any of the clouds or any of the actual periphery of the world of Minecraft. The periphery of the world of Minecraft was the real world.
Yeah.
And now you're just seeing the Minecraft game space in your real world. So the sky in Minecraft is your sky, right? The periphery is your living room, your whatever. And to me, that's like the game changer, because now you can have a whole new class of game in which you can actually, instead of I'm in the real world but playing a game in a fake world that's attached to my face, now I'm still in the real world, but I have supplemented the real world with all these virtual components, and I can actually play off of things potentially that are in the real world and have some interaction between real world and augmented reality world. And that, I think, is the game changer that we all kind of want when we think about virtual reality that's missing when I just slap a set of glasses on my face.
The best part is, if they don't know what you're doing, all they see is you with glasses on going like this with your hands, like moving around like a moron. So you can see endless videos of people recording their friend playing with it and like, what is he doing?
I personally think that they're two different markets, though. Like, they're designed for two different ideas.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And I guess what I'm saying is, one is a product I want, the other one is a product I don't really care about, and likely will never.
Say who cannot watch that Minecraft.
But like, I'm super excited for virtual reality and stuff.
Yeah, however they bring it to us. The fact that they're working on it and the fact that we have all these options to where we can compare A to B and say this is better than this, I think that's the key, right? The driver of innovation is going to be competition and a bunch of different ideas coming together, and not all those are going to land initially.
Chris, why don't you say you cannot watch the Minecraft HoloLens video? You told me.
Why did I say I can't?
The only problem I have with augmented reality is that it seems like with virtual reality, it's like you're looking out into a virtual world, where augmented reality, at least in a lot of the examples I've seen, is you're more or less orbiting around an object, or you're interacting with something in a small confined space where, and I'm hearing a really bad echo coming from somebody. And it's Chris. Okay, sorry. But yeah, basically, like, I don't know, the examples I've seen through augmented reality seems more or less centered around a particular object. Let's say, like you said, the example is like a coffee table, and you just kind of orbit around your coffee table, and you can manipulate objects within that space. So I think that's good for some things, but I think for a lot of genres, maybe more traditional genres like shooters or anything where you have to be in first-person perspective, I think virtual reality is more of the direction to go in with that. But
yeah, different games can use different ones. But Chris, why don't you say
exactly. It's just a different method. Yeah.
And remember, Chris, you say you won't let your son watch it?
There's no way in hell. If he watches it, I'm gonna have to storm the Redmond offices and procure a one of those headsets. Even if the cost of my life. There's no way my son will be able to endure continued existence on this planet without that peripheral and without that version of the game.
I thought it was funny.
The instant he knows that it exists, it just the real life will no longer be enough.
Yeah, I saw that. That's one video I actually saw. That was freaking awesome, that thing.
I did not give a damn about Minecraft, and that video blew me the hell away. That video actually made me legit want to sit down and play Minecraft with my son.
Now, going to Oculus Rift, have any of you seen the gallery?
No.
Gallery 6 Sense. I think that's one of the games that has me truly excited for virtual reality because of the way that they're implementing it. And they're doing it in a really... have any of you played the games Myst, like the Myst series of games?
No.
Like puzzles?
Not
ages and
story.
ages ago, but
Yeah. So the gallery
point-and-click
seems
adventure mystery.
Yeah, the gallery seems like it's going to be very similar to Myst, except instead of you pointing and clicking, you're walking around and you're picking these things up. And especially with it being with HTC's or HTC Vive using the Lighthouse design. So with the Lighthouse design for virtual reality, you have two boxes essentially that you place in different corners of an area that's going to be the game space. And then you can actually walk around in that game space. And then with the controllers they have, you can actually like pick things up. So it shows him like just messing around with things, picking things up, picking up a bottle, looking at it, throwing it on the ground, picking up a compass, aligning it, and then throwing it on the ground, picking up a little gyroscope thing, throwing it in the air, catching it. And it has that same feel of those Myst games where there's a story, there's something here, a puzzle to solve, except you're actually there. So I think that's the kind of thing that virtual reality is going to excel in, is games like that. Games that it's a world you want to see.
Well, I guess, and here's something to think about, right? Because we talked about, right, the whole, like, right now, HoloLens is my coffee table, whatever, right? But let me ask you this. What if the HoloLens, right, what if the rendering surface was the floor? You had an entire room, and the floor is the surface that's actually projecting the hologram. You could have some pretty awesome virtual paintball fights and
you
things
could
like
definitely
that.
have some pretty awesome things, and I think that they'll be both really awesome games. But I feel like they're going to be different games because
Absolutely, there'll be different games. But I guess for me, what gets me jazzed about it is one game will have me actually dodging, actually walking around, actually doing stuff. Another one will have me sitting on the couch, laying back, like thumb sticking my way through something.
Well, that's the thing with the Lighthouse design is you're not doing that. You're actually walking around and stuff with it. So, like with this demo, he was actually walking around this space, picking things up using the controller still, but he was actually moving his hands and then picking things up. And with some of the controllers they're developing, you actually have, full finger, full hand movement sensing. So you can do hand gestures with it. And you can actually go and pick things up, and they're working on actual tactile feedback. So when you pick something up, there's like a little air bladder that fills up. So you actually feel the pressure of that object on your fingertips.
That's really cool, actually.
That's certainly pretty cool. I have a similar peripheral that I've been using for years. It's pretty good. The tactile feedback sometimes is a little laggy. Like I'll touch something hot and I don't feel it for like a few moments later, but it's a work in progress.
Yeah.
I just
No,
want
I definitely hear what you're saying. I don't mean to downplay what you're saying. I think you're exactly right. It's different kinds of games. I think there's different value in both. I think where the virtual reality in that sense will really do it is, there's certain things that the augmented reality would not be able to properly convey, like say, walking around the moon, things like that, being in a totally
or
totally
like one
foreign
thing I'd like to
environment.
see in the future. Besides just games, I mean, you could do like all kinds of stuff. Like, let's say if they wanted to
Do a
do a
virtual
3D
Mars mission.
scan, like virtual tours of something. Let's say if they did a 3D scan of like the Louvre, you could just sit in your living room and basically walk around the Louvre all day and look around. You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff is pretty darn interesting.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Just beyond gaming altogether.
just give me a holodeck like in Star Trek,
I think that's what they're
I
working
gotta find a link for that.
I think
I think the HoloLens, right? If you had enough projective surfaces, if the walls and the ceiling and the floor were all projective surfaces, I think you could have the holodeck.
And with the HoloLens, I can definitely see that happening with that. But I think you're going to see both of these products trying to achieve a holodeck-like experience in different ways, and I think they're both going to be awesome. I think the things like Oculus Rift and such are going to be faster to get to that point, but I think things like the HoloLens would be cooler to see get to that point.
Yeah, I think what will need to happen, right, in order for the true holodeck experience, Oculus Rift and HoloLens will have to converge, right? Because you're going to want to have the whole it's me and my friends as me and my friends. If we want to be in special getup or whatever, we're in special getup. But when I go to touch those holograms, right? I want to actually feel like I'm grabbing something, like I'm picking up something. So like you said, you'll have to have some kind of peripheral that gives you that sense of tactile. It's not just me like reaching through a block and there's nothing there. Like there has to be something that gives some feedback that makes it actually feel like I'm manipulating real-world objects. So I think ultimately you're right. Both of these have to exist, but they have to like converge in order. If what we want is Mr. Nikon's holodeck there, I think that we need pieces from both technology advancements.
Yeah, for sure.
My whole thing is, so like, are we getting excited over this for no reason? Because was it last year or the year before? The HoloLens thing, because I think it was last year or the year before. I don't remember which. Microsoft was talking about this new tech demo they were doing, and it was like the projector that would project stuff all over your room, you know, so your whole room was a playing field, and everybody thought it was really cool, and then it went away. It was never seen from again.
Yeah, is this
HoloLens?
I think the problem was at the time they didn't really have it. I think it was like Google Glass, right? Because Google Glass came, tried to do the augmented reality thing. Number one, the headsets are like $1,500, right? And number two, it sucks because like the few apps out for it are just not very. They don't really take advantage of the concept. I think what's got me excited, at least this time, is this is the second time Nintendo has showed me the technology in a way that says, okay, I get that. Like when you show somebody pointing to something on their screen and saying, okay, I'm playing around with this, you know, this 3D object or whatever, right? Like, let's say it's a globe or whatever, right? But, you know, I kind of want to maybe, like, I'm homeschooling, and I want to talk to my son about it, but this 2D scrolling around with the mouse thing, not really doing it for me. Why don't we just take that and put it over here, and now I can just, through gestures and all this other stuff, my son can sit on the other side if you have two HoloLenses, right? We could both be sitting there having a dialogue and somewhat interacting with this object in the real world. And then when we're done with it, we just put it back on the computer and, you know, it's all good. So that was kind of neat, the fact that we could take stuff from the pure digital world and introduce it somehow, even if it's only meta, we could introduce it somehow into our physical world, and now we're starting to think about what it means for these to be in the physical world. Then to see the leap months later of, they don't just show us Minecraft on the HoloLens. They show us a Minecraft that's integrated into the real world. And that to me was that was the game changer that I was looking for, where they're not just thinking of these things as like, oh, here's a game, and I can also, you know, put it 3 feet from your eyes. Now it was like well, what would it mean to have a game be part of the real world, or to be able to interact with or be side by side with real world and real world objects? And I think now they're asking the right questions and they're approaching it from the right angle to really come out with stuff that legitimizes the technology, because before it was just all the promise of, oh, just imagine what we could do. I don't care what we could do. Show me what you can do.
I agree.
Right? If it's $1,500, show me what it can do. Don't sell me on promises for what it might do someday.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're putting this big hype to it, show what it can do. Show the promise. And yeah, I definitely think the HoloLens demo did it. I think that's one thing that is really hard to portray with other virtual reality headsets, is you can't see what you see with a headset on unless you put a headset on. Like, I've actually got to try an Oculus Rift, and I forgot I was wearing it for a second. Like, I knew that what I was looking at wasn't real, but my brain didn't. Like, my brain was seeing everything in front of me as if it was real. And it's amazing. It's phenomenal. You have full depth perception. You can look around. You feel like you're there, and it's an amazing feeling. but you can't really portray that without trying it. And
I agree with-
HoloLens is easier for that.
I agree with that, and that might be, I'll fully admit, and then we can move on, I'll fully admit that maybe my bias against Rift is just simply I haven't tried it, and I absolutely agree with you. It's one of those technologies where, like, you have to have it there, versus I think kind of an advantage that the HoloLens has, at least from like a marketing perspective, is whoever rigged up that camera that allowed you to actually like see what you could see if you were wearing it. I mean, what did it for me was just you've got two people walking around this Minecraft world on the outside, and then all the stuff happening in the Minecraft world there. I just had to remind myself repeatedly, you're not being impressed by a visual effect right now. You're seeing this all render in real time. You're seeing all this side by side with reality in real time. This is
One
real.
thing I want to see is whether it's that vivid for the person wearing it or whether it's still kind of semi-transparent. Because that's one thing with most VR headsets is they end up being semi-transparent because they're using a reflective glass or whatever. The only alternative is having really either they figured out some way of not doing that I'm not aware of, or you're going to have screens in front of your eyes still, and then just cameras are picking up the rest of the world. And then it just feeds the camera images and that to you.
Yeah, that's a good point.
All right.
That's from what I understand. It's not the parts that aren't transparent. They focus more on the where other stuff focus on trying to get periphery and all that other stuff. They focus mainly everything in the center, mostly because if you have the periphery remain the real world, then all this stuff about vertigo and equilibrium problems and everything just goes out the window because you're grounded in reality, but you might, even if you're focusing on virtual.
All right, we got one more topic to cover with and that's the. Damn, I just had it too. Oh, the Gears of War Ultimate Edition, which is all games for Xbox One, releases August 25th. We'll have multiplayer. Beta is currently up. Then there's Gears of War 4, and it comes out later this year, holiday of 2015. Any comments on Gears?
It's coming out on PC too, isn't it?
I think so.
That's amazing because I don't think any of those, except like the first one, was on PC.
Yeah, the first one was, none of the other ones.
Never played Gears of War, but knowing that you'll be able to get the whole entire, saga on Xbox One, I'll probably pick it up when I get an Xbox One.
Okay, I have an idea. Let's cut this feed now. Then we'll start a new live video. We'll call it part 2. So just cut it off now. Then we'll start the live event again. It's been an hour and a half already. We don't want people to stay for 3 hours.
Wow.
So
I think a half hour of that was
Intermission music.
Yeah, intermission, guys. So let's cut the live feed.
okay, I'm gonna cut this now.
Let's all go to the lobby and have ourselves a snack.